Hey, y'all. Father, I ask that you bless and raise this place with your presence. Father, tell me with the words that you have me to speak today, that I might reveal it to your people in the name of Yeshua. I plead a hedge of protection around this atmosphere, around the people who come to listen to it in the live, as well as the replay. In the name of Yeshua. May your Holy Spirit take reign. In the name of Yeshua. Amen. Hey, 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 Teresa. Hey, Live. How y'all doing? How is y'all doing today? Are y'all filled with the joy of the Lord today? We got some stuff we got to talk about. Amen. Amen and amen, child. How was y'all day? Hey, Pepsi. Listen, I am blessed. I'm feeling, we got a nice breeze outside today. The sun is shining. Yes, child. I'm feeling very well. Yes. We got some things we gonna chit chat about, what's going down, what's going around, and what's going on. Some of the current events. I don't know if y'all seen that there was a little girl. Now, we done talked about the Marine Kingdom running amok right now, and somebody did not get the memo. And so there was a little girl whose leg was bitten off down there somewhere around North Carolina, swimming in the ocean. I'm gonna need y'all to stay out the ocean. Let as close as y'all get to the ocean be the beach and the shoreline where the water wash up and run over top of your feet. Stay out the water. It's Jaws out there, y'all. It's Jaws out there in the water. It's a whole bunch of stirring up, shaking in the atmosphere. I'm gonna need people to take the advice that has been given. Stay out the water. Go into something that you can see what's going on. That's good, Pepsi. That is good. We're gonna talk about child. Sheesh. We got breeze up here. I don't even know what the temperature is outside, but hey soldier. Thank you. Thank you. Leave it to the fish, the crabs, the shrimp, the shark, the stingrays, the manatees, the jellyfishes. Listen, all the marine kingdom. Do some, Teresa. I know you're a seer, so you can see already. Do some study on the marine kingdom, honey. Let me tell you, open your eyes right on up to some stuff that's going on around here in these streets and in the water too. Yes. Um, this morning during my reading, I was taken to Second Chronicles today. Um, just for anybody who's not sure about Chronicles pretty much puts things in chronological order based off of the previous the Kings. So if you read Kings, you'll see in Chronicles that there's a lot of repetitive as to what was going on. Some other background stories, again repetitive, um, during those reignings of the kings. And so as I was in the People's Lounge this morning with Denise and y'all, you know, her conversation had kind of shifted and she didn't realize and I'm just sitting over here cracking up. Not cracking up like, laughing at her, but just cracking up about how Father's Holy Spirit moves. Um, because one of the things that the message that he had sent me to, I read Second Chronicles 22. It was getting good, so I went on to 23, and I ended up finishing up chapter 24 as well because it was good. I'm trying to tell this the Bible, y'all. If you ain't read it and it's complete, it's got some stuff in here, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. I was like, oh, I can't stop. I was a page turner on today. So I was just reading through, seeing, what's the rundown, the lowdown, and what's operating in people. I almost started to label this the broadcast today, principalities, rulers, and wickedness in high places. However, as you can see, we're talking about leaders, women, elders, and children, because that is the same thing that she was talking about. And this is what this whole message this morning was about. So, you have one king who had taken over. I believe he was 22 when he took over. I'm not going to read the whole chapter because these names, child, listen, it was a struggle over here. I was like, Hooked on Phonics did work for me, but I need Hebrew Onyx because this one right here, these names, listen. So it basically talked about a king who had taken reign um, because his father was actually killed because he did wrong in the sight of the Lord. One of the things that he did was he adopted the things of Ahab. If anybody knows who Ahab's wife was Jezebel. If y'all don't know, you done heard about Jezebel. Jezebel pretty much, Ahab started off good, and then he married Jezebel. Jezebel came in with her, wanted to bring her own prophets, wanted to start erecting things, temples for Baal and worshiping false gods. Okay, so Ahaziah comes now, and he's the following, and he too has adopted the things of Baal. Hey, Tiana, hello. So he too has adopted the things of Ahab. Um, again, trying to mix and mingle with the worship, and began to. He was being counseled by his mom, his mother. Mm, 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 mm. These women, just like Jezebel, just that spirit, spirit of Jezebel. You come in here, you telling your son what he should do, how he should do it. We should do this and we should do that. So again, he sinned in the eyes of the Lord, worshiping false gods. Okay. Um, so now he got to pay for that. So he was punished and killed by somebody, Jehu, who God had anointed to wipe them clean, to get that foolishness up out of here. So he ended up losing his life. Well, now that his mother sees that he lost his life, oh, she went on a rampage and started killing everybody in the royal family of Judah. Killed them all, except for one. So the king who was just killed, he his sister actually rescued his son, the baby, and took the baby and hid the baby in the temple. Hid the baby in the temple for, until that baby turned 7 years old. So now a prophet of God gathers together the people, the families of Israel, the Levites, and the people of Judah that were still worshiping the Lord, and they hit him to until he was 7 years old, and then they made him king at age 7. 7, y'all. So if we're thinking that children back then in those times, at 7 years old, he ran a kingdom. Yes, he had advisors, the elders, the people that were still worshiping God, so they're considered wise counsel. Okay, so wise counsel is counseling him all the way up until this prophet, who had, and once the mother found out that the baby, she ain't know. So now she finds out they talking about long live the king. She's like, the king who? I've been the king. Pretty much she had took over. She killed all the royal people. So she took over and she dictated how a spirit of control, the spirit of Jezebel. She ran things up until they snuck him in to the temple for crowning and all that. They talking about long live the king. She was like, wait a minute, who the king? Where he at? Come to find out, she come in there talking about treason, ripped the robes and everything, child. She was hot. So now they got one, you're no longer, your little reign that you had, honey, that's over. She had that for a good 7 years. So now the 7-year-old is the king, receiving wise counsel, has the people who are of God following behind him. He goes down, tears down the idols and the altars and all that they had built up to Baal, right? So this prophet at 130 years old, y'all, listen to the age. 130 years old, died. And so did the legacy at that point in time. So all it took was for wise counsel to no longer be around. It's just like now. Think about it like now. Our elders ain't elders no more. We was just talking about I promise you, when Denise, I said, Father, listen, you have to slow down sometimes because I was not ready for the shift. So when she shifted and she started talking about women and the advice and the counsel that we give to men, and the morale that we may tear down, and what's going on with the children, like it all rolls in together. When he no longer had that person who knew God, was anointed by God, had the word of God binded to his heart in his mouth as an elder, once he passed away, they were lost and they reverted back to following false gods again, because all it took was for somebody who was still doing that thing. The people Israel were still worshiping Baal and other idols, Asherah poles, and all types of stuff. They then came in and said, hey, this is what you need to do. And being as though he had this counsel before, and now that counsel is not there, he was lost and didn't know what to do. And so he looked at what he believed worked for them. So he reigned for 40 years. But because he did what he did, here come the gavel of judgment. These people false advised you, told you of the things that they've been doing over there, the same thing that had God to turn his back on them. So now here he is thinking, well, if you can't beat them, join them. I like them people. And then the people who had, even the people, uh, his father, his Zechariah was the prophet Jehoiada, his son, and so he killed him. Let him lay there dead in his own blood. And Zechariah told him, may the Lord see this and call you to account, which he did. He held him, like he says, don't touch my anointed and do my prophets no harm. At the end of the day, this is what happens. What has happened in our generation and the generation of children that follow us is that people continue to turn a blind eye. Elders turn a blind eye to what is going on. Nobody wants to, they scared to go sit out on the porch because it done got so dark. Although they can walk through they can live in the hood and walk through their own neighborhood and not be touched. But they don't. It's few of them that will sit down and talk to these children. It's few of them that will sit down and try to guide them a little bit because there is a lack of guidance. You know, I can tell you for my own self and my own reflection. I was 17. My daughter right here. I was 17 years old when I had my daughter. 17. But my experience with life, I had to handle a lot of things in my experience with life. And so for me, I learned a lot of things. Caring for people and, you know, some of the things that I had been through in my life, it was for me, it was the most important. But my mama told me, you make your bed, you lay in it. If you're not going to school or work, I'm not no living babysitter. Hey, Bev. She said, I'm not no living babysitter. You got to raise your own child. And I did what I had to do. Sometimes it caused me to go out here and work 2 or 3 jobs in order to provide for her because at that point in time I would not accept, like, even then I was getting Social Security from my mom. I was getting sure did. Sure did, didn't I? Sure did. Just a hard lesson. But at the end of the day, like I did not want to collect money when I felt my life was just starting. I can go out here and work. I can go out here and earn my own money. I didn't want Social Security. I didn't want welfare. I didn't want those things. Even then when I had her, I was on the brink of dropping out of school because I didn't listen to wise counsel. I didn't listen to wise counsel at that time. However, it's stuff that bounced off my head for years and still does, based off of some of the things that they taught me, some of the things that I learned. I'm going to tell you that it was not an easy road to do what I had to do at, 17, 16, 17 years old with a, baby on the way. It wasn't easy to do what I had to do, but I did what I had to do. And, at that point in time, no, I wasn't, Sunday go to meeting every Sunday. No, I wasn't. I was out here in the world doing me, but I was working and being trained even during that time, working my butt off. Overtime, yeah, I work. You need me to cover your shit? Sure, I work. I got it. But one of the things that ended up happening is that um it did not enable me to be the mother who I wished that I could have been. Yes, we have a good relationship, but there were some things um that created friction. It created friction in areas where I could not be as supportive. I could not do what, I couldn't be at this school and that school and whatever else because when I started work, like I said, 2 or 3 jobs at a time. The first time I ever had one job was when I managed hotels, and that job required me to be working sometimes, shoot, 80, 100. At one point in time, I stayed on the property of a hotel for almost a year, right down the hallway from the front desk. So it was hard for me to, yes, I was providing for her the things that she needed, but time, I could not give her that time. So I had to make sure that the people who I placed her around, my father, my mother, my sister, a lot of them helped me with making sure that she was kept in good hands, that no harm would come her way. Because of some of the things that I had been through in my life, I was very protective of her. And there were some things I didn't want her to do, and even experience, try to gain an experience of those things because of what had happened to me, from being molested, from being abused, from all those things. And so I therefore put a shield over her, and which at times that was not beneficial. Do you see what I'm saying? So what ends up happening in our lives is that the things that, and I was just talking to one of my sisters in Christ about this. What ends up happening is that those things that we have that are in us, that we have been through, that we have dealt with, um, they either get swept under the rug or suppressed, or you just keep on going saying, "Oh, I'm fine. Oh, I got it. Oh, everything is under control." Smiling through all the foolishness and all the mess. But now we have elders who is trying to be just as young as the grandchildren, as the children that they're raising. They don't got time for the grandchildren because they out here living their best life. I give kudos to those grandmothers who are actually being grandmothers. I give kudos to those men who are out here trying to be the head of their family. And we don't, like, sometimes we don't even know what men are dealing with. We don't even know what they're dealing, what they face at their jobs, because they're so introverted that they don't even really talk about it. That if they don't even, some of them don't even want to cry in front of you because they feel like it makes them less of a man to do so. And so therefore they're pent up. Okay. They got a whole lot of pent up stuff in them that they can't release. Because who are they going to release it to without being judged, or without saying, be a man, be a man? They got feelings too. They go through stuff too. Leaders, they go through more stuff than, again, a thick skin being developed. That does not mean that you don't go through stuff, that you don't feel certain type of ways, but because of, we as humans have such expectations. The only ones that really don't have expectations until you teach them that is your children. It's a trickle down effect. Everything that we're seeing right now with the children and how they're out here rebelling, how they're out here being abducted or molested or whatever, is because our lack of attention to these matters. It's because of our lack of training in these areas. It's us, the elders, the leaders, the women. And I didn't put the men in here because I consider them as being leader of the home. They're supposed to be. But one of the things that, Denise brought up, and it's the truth. What does the Bible say? What is the woman's responsibility? What was the woman's job? It tells us what the woman's job was. You got men that can't, after working how they work, I mean, looking like they be coming home. Some of them, depending upon what kind of job they do, some of their hands come home looking like they was at the Gold Medal Flower Factory. Child, you can't. You got to do a paraffin spa to get the ashes off of them hands. Calluses and child. Yeah, they feet might look raggedy. Tell them, baby, I'm gonna rub your feet with your socks on. Just leave your socks on. Yeah, they feet look raggedy because they got to wear steel toe boots. We got listen. It starts with us. We got to think about some of these things. So when, like I said, when she shifted, I'm just like, Father, I know you got something up your sleeve, but it's in the air. When the Holy Spirit speaks, He's on one accord. Regardless of if people believe that they have, that's just to let you know. Hey, Denise, I was just talking about you and your little message today. Child, girl, listen, you was in the vein today. You gonna blame it on me. Girl gonna say, I don't know what it is, Melissa. When you come in here, it ain't gonna don't got nothing to do with me. That got everything to do with the Lord. So the lesson that he had taken me to this morning, even before I came on there and listened to what you were saying, he took me to a place where a woman who had a Jezebel spirit and her son and um you know pretty much how they just was rebelling against God, and then you had a man of God who was instructing the baby that they done hid. Like, come on, it was a lot. It talks about it talked about leadership, it talked about the elders who advised them, it talked about women. And this baby, when he took reign, he was only 7 years old, king of Judah. 7 years old. But the people who advised him up until an extent were of God. And then when that man passed away at 130 years old, he then took counsel from whomever. And this is what happens. People don't, when people give you counsel, I will recommend that the first thing that you do is check it in the book. Check it in the Bible. Because that's how you're going to know if comes from God, if this is going to find you in error, if this is going to be something that's going to cost you later on down the line, or that you might have to repent from. He don't send everybody. I need y'all to understand something, and this is what was spoken to me yesterday, and it was spoken to me again today. Satan hates you. He don't love you. They hate us because we have the opportunity to be transformed, not conform to the things of the world, because we're not supposed to be conformed into the world. He said, come out from amongst them and be ye separate. Don't love the world. Don't love it. He's already warned us that the world is going to pass away. He's going to send fire to the world. We're not supposed to be conformed to this what everybody's doing. If people are disliking what you're talking about, that's because they're of the world and you are beginning to be awakened. When you start to see things, when you start to hear things, like I heard somebody say today, you can't unsee it. You can't unhear it. You can ignore it, but you still heard what was said. You still saw what you saw. You can't remove that from your memory now. It's there. We're supposed to be transformed into something new, and be as though we have the opportunity to do that while we still have breath. While we still have breath. As long as you still have breath, you still have an opportunity, a chance at salvation, a chance at becoming holy as God is holy. You have an opportunity every day that you have breath in your body. God don't hate you. He wants you to snap out of it. He wants you to see. Don't you see the strife and the struggles and the things of that nature that come along with us rebelling against what he says? It might be okay for a while. It may be all right for now. But what the enemy gives you, when how you know it came from, how you know you out of order, you start getting picked at. You start getting burnt. Your butt cheeks get burnt. You start getting rebuked. If everybody, like we've read before, if everybody is speaking well of you, that's not all. That's not a good thing. There's going to be people who don't speak well of you, and that's because you change. And the first thing that did Satan, the accuser, what does he do? Accuse. What's he gonna say? Oh, you look at how you changed. You're not nothing like you used to be. You're right. Thank you. As a matter of fact, glory to God. How about that? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? It's all right as long as you got time to party and spend your money frivolously on bull crap and out here dressing like a harlot. Been there, done it, and I got a whole lot of eyes attracted to what my behind looked like. But you really didn't know nothing about me. You only seen what I look like. You ain't see the inside. I thank God that he knew how he made me. He seen the inside. He knew what's inside. But Satan hates us, y'all, because he already knows that at the end of all this, he has a one-way ticket to hell, a one-way ticket. At the end of all this, one-way ticket to hell. He's just trying. All his thing is about is the pride, the very same pride that we talking about, that he done snatched your soul out of the kingdom of God, and that you going to hell with him. He don't care about us. All these things that we out here doing that is contrary to what we like. You already know when you do certain things how you feel a certain type of way. But who you think is who's telling you that you really shouldn't be doing this? When you say I don't know why I don't think I should be doing this. I don't know why I feel like that, but I just don't think I should be doing this. He done put something on you to let you know that no, you shouldn't be doing it. But a lot of times we'll go and do it anyway. And then something ends up happening. You go out, you might have too many drinks. The next morning you wake up upchucking. Okay, maybe you wasn't supposed to be doing that then. Maybe you should have had everything is supposed to be done in moderation. Maybe you overdid it a little bit. Y'all see what I'm talking about? At the end of the day, this is what trickles down. A lot of people, they drink their pain away. But guess what? Even after you wake up the next day, you might be in more pain because now you're sick or you got a hangover, your head is bumping. But them troubles, that stuff that you was going through is still there. That relief was only temporary. You can't deal with what your man talking about, so now you gonna go out and get your what we was talking about. Go out, get your nails did, your hair did, and go strumpeting the streets, trolloping them and galloping. And at the end of the day, you not even doing that for when your man come home and see you look like you got flour on your sweatpants and your t-shirt. Your feet look like you done bite your toenails off. You can do these things on your own. Trust me, I do it all the time. Yeah, I used to go to the nail shop and let them destroy my nails, and took me 2 years, almost 3 years for them to grow out right. I do my own eyebrows, paint my own nails. Saves me a lot of money. And I got good hair. I ain't put a perm in my hair. They told me I shouldn't have been putting no perm in my hair anyway, and they're probably right. They're probably right. They're like, oh my God, you put a perm in this? Don't judge me. Them waves is natural. I didn't like them. You know, at the end of the day, we sit up here wasting our time. How long do people sit in a hair shop and get their hair done? Yes, I believe in having your alone time and whatever, whatnot. But what happens in these shops? We sit there and gossip and talk about people. I know, I've been there. Yeah, I don't. That's one thing I don't do. I don't put in fake hair. And I'm a little mad that my brother got the green eyes and I didn't. I wish, but I won't put no contact in there because I don't even want to put the glasses on my face, but I do want to see. But it's a lot of that. I mean, it's almost like a safe self hatred. To be honest, I couldn't stand the moles on my face. I try to cut them off. They keep coming back. My daughter was hot. She was like, "What are you doing?" I'm cutting them off. I done cut it off. It grew right back. Like, you're gonna bleed to death. No, got alcohol. At the end of the day, this is what we've been shown. This is what has been acceptable. Wigs, weaves, and hey, if that's what y'all choose to do, that's fine. Pray over them things though, because some of them people sacrifice their hair. It's considered a sacrifice. Rituals and things like that go into that stuff. Just pray over your stuff. I seen the Asian lady washing the flip flops, the little the flip flops they put on your feet when you get a when you get what you call 'em, when you get your pedicure or whatever. Child, this one Asian shop, they was rewashing that things right in the foot bath, right in the foot bath to reuse them. This is what's happening in some of these places. They acting like they just pulling them out the drawer with no bag or nothing like that. Listen, they could be reused. Go in with your own flip flops. Trying to tell y'all, trying to tell you something. Back in the day when they used to have your own, you can buy your own box. You can, get your own box with your own files and things like that. A lot of them, they just tell you that this is your number, and they wasn't even using it. They was using what they was not even getting up and going over and grabbing your little box that you done bought. Exactly. Me too, child. Listen, this is the first time I ever had my own nails in my life. I used to bite my nails. I was a nervous wreck. That's it. Accept me for who I am. And like I said, I wasn't always at that place. I done did the lashes. I done did everything but the fake hair. I think I had fake hair once or twice. But it's just not, like at the end of the day, you know, I put a wig on my head. Yes, I did that. That was in my whole trying to find myself phase. And I found myself, you know where I found myself? On my knees, asking for forgiveness and praying God to come save me because I'm going about it all wrong. This is not I don't feel any better than what I did before I put this wig on my head. At the end of the day, it's work that got to be done. And it seems like every time somebody is coming from a place of spirituality or speaks of God, you got people that run, that take off. Pew! They like the road runner, and the coyote still, and we the coyote still ain't catch them. What you running for? My daddy used to tell me, hell ain't full yet. If you go out here, you get yourself in trouble. Don't call home. Don't you? He took collect calls off the phone, child. We couldn't even call collect. Don't use your dime to call here. Because if you go to jail, you're going to stay there and think about what you did. So I never went. Because I believed that he was serious. But I grew up in a house with my uncles and aunts and grandparents and, extended family homes. And I believe that it was because of them that I was able to be a leader because I took a piece of each one of them. Listen to the conversations that they gave. Yeah, I think my grandma planted bushes out in front of the house just so we can, get beatings with. Some of these children out here, some people done made it so, the government done made it so, if you even whisper you gonna beat your kids behind, they be ready to call children's services on you. But they'll be the first ones to come and tell you that you're doing a bad job in raising your child. Well, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't, then ain't I? Because you don't want me to put my hands on when they need somebody to put their hands on them. But at the same point in time, I mean, what am I supposed to do? So now, what do they do? Remember how we talked about when somebody smacks you or whatever, that wound heals, but the words that somebody speak out their mouth, you don't forget. Ding, ding, ding. So now, because you have taken off the thing of where you could spank your children or your children got paddled at school, now it's verbal abuse. And so what we're doing is cussing our children out, calling them names, calling them out their name, calling their daddy stuff, calling their mama stuff. Everybody is verbally abusing everybody. And all these things have stuck to the hearts and to the minds of people and have developed into something else that makes you hate women because you had a bad one. Either you had a bad mom or you had a bad girlfriend or wife, and now they have soured you. Or a man, you had a father who was absent from the home, or abusive to the mother. And so look at all the things that stem from that. There you go. They not gonna tell me how to do mine either. They not gonna tell me how to do mine. You gonna catch an attitude, you gonna catch these hands. You gonna catch these hands. You out of line. You need help getting back in line. Here, let me help you. Let me help you. Get you right back, snap back curls. Remember them Jerry curls back? Snap back curls. Them Jerry curls was tight. I'm trying to tell y'all. Is who is we blaming? We have to blame everybody. Because even with that, even with getting smacked or hit with the switch, as my grandma used to call, go get a switch. Getting a beating, people then took the angers that they had out on their children. Instead of you chastising that child for what they had done, you let that build up. And so when you went to chastise that child, you then begin to abuse that child. Do you see what I'm saying? Beating them wasn't enough. You got to cuss them out too. Call them names. Listen, sometimes children just pick up stuff from others and it's not. You're right. Again, you're right. But it has to do with elders as a whole. Because now I can't even send you over to such and such house because number one, a lot of them they'll just take their child's word for it because they want to get rid of them or have that moment to themselves. You haven't met the mom, you haven't met the dad, you haven't gone to their house. You just allow that. Oh, I'm going over such and such house. You have met such and such, came to your house, and that's how you knew who they was, and you said that they was a good, a good child, but you don't know what their life is like at home. We're just not as some of us, and I don't mean like I never try to put everybody into one basket. I never try to put it. So when I speak, please don't think I think all men are this way or all women are that way. In general, I would say if we took a poll, there will be a general amount, a generous amount of people who see their child's friends come over to your house and they might call you mom or hey miss such and such, whatever, because they done got respect beat into them, but you don't know how they really living at home. And some of them don't even sit down and have that conversation with their child. What is their home life like? What's their mom like? What's their dad like? A lot of them is just so they can get out the house. You want to get them out the house, or you send them outside. I've seen so many children outside. Listen, they be riding bikes down the middle of the street. Don't move out of the way for cars or nothing. They be walking like as slow as they possibly can, like they got bumpers on their behind. You got children out here that kids stealing cars and going out here joyriding. Then you got the parents that's falling asleep high on the train, on the bus, in the hotels. Got the babies, traces of a. Listen, I'm gonna tell you a story. Once upon a time, we had guests at a hotel. You know, we don't. If somebody says that they don't want service, they don't. They just don't get service. They put a "Do Not Disturb" sign on their door. They might catch a housekeeper out in the hallway or whatever and ask for clean towels or soaps or something like that. Well, once upon a time, we had people who had been in the room for about a week. Okay. We had some people who had been in the hotel for about a week. I can't remember who checked them in, what time they came in, whatever the case was, but they went into this room and they didn't ask for service or anything like that, right? So after it's checkout time now, so the housekeeper go on the day of checkout because they didn't paid all their money or whatever is done. So now the housekeeper go to knock on the room, and when they put the key in, they still had the latch on the door. And sometimes that would happen. Sometimes the latch would automatically click over, and it would be a mistake. Like if somebody slammed the door, the latch might hit. And so we had a tool that we would use at those times because, like I said, it's beyond checkout time, and they didn't call and say nothing about a late checkout. So we had to go up there with the tool and bust the door open. Go in there. It looks like nobody was in there, but they done rearranged the furniture. You got traces of baby bottles and formula all over the place. You see needles and spoons, ice cream in the bathroom, and Nothing on the bed. All the blankets was on the. They done moved the sofa around, child, looking out the window. Lord. So I'm like, well, what is going on around here? Well, where is the baby? Is anybody in here? We didn't think nobody was in here. So my boss, he kicks the comforter because the comforter looked a little big. So he kicked the comforter, and there was a whole man high rolled up in the comforter on the floor. So this means that y'all had a child in here while y'all was in here shooting up, getting high, whatever y'all was doing, and this baby, y'all done gave this baby whatever this baby wanted. Exactly, Pepsi. But this is the kind of stuff, like, this is the kind of stuff that I've seen, like, some of the stuff I've done seen in hotels, child. Jesus, take the wheel. I mean, I've had children that look, child. Listen. All I can tell you is that this in hospitality and hotels. I've witnessed people taking showers from other countries outside the shower, overflow the whole bathroom. The ceiling was falling. I've seen kids that are supposed to be on a church retreat are actually like gypsies running around stealing from people, getting in and getting out. They got babies. They got all different ages with lipstick and makeup. The boy took had an ecstasy overdose, almost died in the hotel. I witnessed somebody hang themselves in a hotel. Like, come on, y'all. This is the type of stuff that I've witnessed, that I've seen. And I can also see how things are getting worse and worse. And a lot of that has to do with, because even down to that, people didn't know how to handle these situations. What do? Listen, I'm calling the cops. I don't care. You're not going to die on my watch. Oh, no, if I can help somebody. Like, I had somebody who was there, a woman who was being abused that was there in hiding from her ex-husband. Like, I've witnessed it. Has to go through and tell the front desk, look, don't nobody know she's here. Don't nobody is supposed to be calling and asking for her, whatever, whatever. If somebody calls and asks for her, my phone 24 hours. Call me, and I'll tell you what you need to do from there. But we weren't allowed to give out people's names and room numbers and all that stuff. We've had people call with credit card fraud and sitting at home, and y'all sitting at home robbing people. And these fools is out here giving you their credit card number over the phone. While these people is taking thousands and tens and thousands, however much money they can get from you. Like, at the end of the day, it has to do with a lot of training. And this is why I say leaders, men who are leaders, women, if you're leaders, the elders, the older generation. It's our generation, the older generation, that is supposed to be training the children how they're supposed to be going. And women, it really was our responsibility. It was the man's job to go out and be a provider. So when Denise started talking about this earlier today, I'm just like, listen, you just don't even know how I almost took off running. I'm just like, if you only knew that this is the very same thing, like we have already talked about, praying for the men and the leaders and the children. But what ended up happening is that people gave up. It's just like, for some people that might have had six, five, six, seven kids, children, they get to a certain point where they're just like, okay, well, I think I taught the oldest one enough that they can, take care of the little one. Because now you trying to provide, you out here working, you're trying to be a parent, you're also having to cook and clean and do all these things. And so we end up shifting some things, but with very little lessons. And these children, once they get to a certain age, oh, you can't nobody. And this music that they listening to, people ain't saying, let me listen, let me see what you talking about. Let me see what you listen to. Let me see what they talk about. My daughter be the first one to tell you. When I started shouting some of the lyrics that she was listening to once upon a time, she be like, oh, she would go and snatch that plug out the wall, child. And I did it on purpose. Because if you don't want me saying it, why are you listening to it? If you don't want me talking about it, why are you listening to it? If this is not something that you can play out loud for grown folks to hear, what is you listening to it for? Oh, she be like, she listen. Remember on the Kings of Comedy when he was talking about how they was wrapping up, they snatched the child. She would snatch that plug out that no. She'd be like, oh, let me find something for old people. Cause I could listen to anything, any type of music. You know, I like the lyrics more than I like the beat. But sometimes these beats be a little catchy until you hear what they talking about. I was like, the one song talking about 3 wings, shrimp fried rice, pink lemonade. Can you please add ice? Poke a hole in the top. Are y'all serious? Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. That's a choke sandwich. Y'all singing about choke sandwiches? Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter. Turn that foolishness off. What in the world is going on today? Then you got them talking about bend it over, bust it open. This is what these children bend what over and a watermelon? What are y'all talking about? What I'm trying to understand, I'm trying to just get an understanding for what it is that you want to sing? Y'all want to sing a song? Come on, let's sing. Let's sing a song. Then when I start to sing the song, now the song ain't, you don't want to listen to the song no more. Good. It has served its purpose. My mission is accomplished. Thank you very much, Jesus. We need to get to a place where we can understand what they talking about, what they listen, what's catching for them, and start to minister to them in a place where they're at, just like God do for us. We need to be praying for the wisdom of the leaders and the strength and the patience. Because, child, you can run out of patience with somebody who's almost remedial. Because you be trying to figure out how is it that you don't get it. I done said the same thing over and over 3, 4, 5 times. If I was talking about 3 wings and shrimp fried rice and pink lemonade, can you please add ice? Would you understand what I was talking about? Talking about I'm a boss, I'm a boss, I'm a boss. No, you're not. You can't even tie your shoes. Do y'all even tie your shoes anymore? You can't even, matter of fact, your pants and you got on skinny jeans and your butt's still out. Can you help me to understand how that works? Ain't skinny jeans supposed to be tight? So they tight around your butt cheeks? They don't go up to your waist? Are they too short? No, they too tight. Don't you understand that that the enemy, his plan is to destroy the reproduction system, fool? Because after that, if y'all didn't want to wear tighty whities, you don't went to the boxers. You didn't want to wear the tighty whities that was supposed to be there to help all that, help the babies that you ain't out here using yet. You shouldn't be. But then you gonna get you some tight pants that's gonna. I don't know if men can get yeast infections or not, but I'm sure your babies is suffocating in there. That can't be right. You don't understand that's what's happening? You're squeezing off circulation to the pockets. You can't even put a wallet in them pants. Do they even put a wallet in them? Do they even have a wallet? I'm just trying to get an understanding of the generation and how do we. And parents will go out there and buy this for their children because they said they wanted it. No, no, no. I'm not buy. Listen, if you take your own money and you go out here and you buy some tight pants, looking like you might as well wear tights. You might as well wear tights. And then the girls their pants is just as tight. And yes, y'all can get yeast infections. And yes, you do smell like you baking bread when you go by people. You smell like the bread bakery. I'm just saying. And the fish market. It's too hot for this. Why ain't nobody telling the babies nothing? We just go out here and say, "Oh, yeah, you look cute." No, you don't. And as a matter of fact, where is the rest of your shorts at? Because now it's done got hot. It's summertime now. Where is the rest of your shorts? We not in the days of hot pants. You can't wear hot pants like they used to wear back in the 70s and stuff. You can't wear hot pants now because you got perverts out here. Yeah, you had perverts before, but now they are running rampant out here. They are snatching snacks. Talking about you look like a snack. Well, no, I don't. I don't want to look like a snack. I want to look like a keg of beer. Too heavy to hold. Too heavy to hold. Where is the rest of your pants? With cleavage, all your stuff out. Who and why are we allowing this? This is the kind of stuff that should be at Victoria's Secret, and if that should be a secret, you it should be limits on places where that you won't go. And what happened to them trying to when we back in my day? Oh, we was using the dressing room. Now you can't even use the dressing room because they got cameras in there watching you with the pervert. Look at what's going on, y'all. Toilet cameras, the cameras inside the daggone. What is going? Listen, dorm room showers. Nobody is paying attention. Nobody is telling your child to even how to look around for this kind of stuff. We used to have to try our stuff on. Ain't that a shame? Them duck lips, girl, snatch them off. Snatch them off. Snatch them off. We don't listen. Where I come from, they was called soup coolers, and it made some people a little self conscious about their big lips. Now that's all they. I'm not gonna say what they refer to them as, but yeah, I'm sure y'all have heard it in a couple of rap songs from Nas, as a matter of fact, and Ether. If you want to go back and refer to Ether, he'll tell you what he called Jay Z's lips. Them. Child, listen. This is what we have allowed to happen. We tell our children, yes, here you got a budget of such and such amount of money. Go out and get yourself something to wear. Don't nobody never tell them when they come home to try that stuff on. Let me see it. Remember, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna talk about the Cosby Show. Remember on the Cosby Show when Theo wanted that shirt? Who was it? Gordon Gartrell. And his parents told him he couldn't have no Gordon Gartrell. And here goes Denise talking about I'll make one for you. And he had one collar that was longer than the other. One sleeve was jacked up with a big cuff on one side, and the other side with. That's what y'all listen. But don't nobody tell children that these days. They say, "Well, I want a Gucci belt." A what? How much is a Gucci belt? What does your grades look like, girl? Teresa, he was hot. I sure, if I had a sewing machine, sure, I'll make it for you. Sure. You want Gordon Gartrell? No problem. Hey Kay, how you doing? Listen. Well, they want some Yeezys. Who is Yeezy? Who is Yeezy? I don't. I don't know Yeezy. It sounds like Wheezy from the Jeffersons. Like, come on, y'all. When did they? Denise couldn't. Child. She couldn't do jack. She can make a mess. I know who he is, but I'm talking about for these children. They don't. I'm not spending that type of money to get you no shoes. Balenciaga. You can't even spell it. How you spell Balenciaga, son, daughter? Yeah. If you could spell Balenciaga, then you should have been winning the Then you should have been winning the spelling bee. If you would have went to Scripps, they would have gave you some money and some scholarship money too. Yeah, they brainwashed. Yes, they are. But this is because we've allowed them to. Sure, kids. Sure, son. Sure, daughter. You want an iPad? No, you gonna get you a Kindle. We gonna start you somewhere. Let's see how you do with this Kindle first. I'm not talking about Kindle Wood. I'm talking about Kindle. Get you a Kindle. It connects to the internet too. Okay, exactly. When she stole the money. Remember when what's her name? Oh man. Oh, Vanessa. When Vanessa called herself out having big fun and got drunk, drank her down. They was drinking her down, child. Mm. Okay, go party, baby. But this is what I'm talking about. We have lost leadership. When any leader try to go opposed to what the world is talking about, generally you have a leader who's going against the grain, that means he's probably more Bible than he is world. You see what I'm saying? So you're not going to have a lot of people supporting you. Yeah, some is going to support you because of race or whatever the case is, but when it gets down to policies and things like that, and people are trying to shift, don't you know? One of the things that Donald Trump had brought up was that he wanted to charge doctors for doing late term abortion. Did y'all know that? And people got in their feelings about that. Now, since Alabama done banned abortions or whatever, you got the Methodist Church down there who is going to air episode of Arthur where the two Mr. Rayburn and whoever else getting having a gay wedding. Now they talking about something else that they done did. Like now the enemy fighting against, bringing people to hate Alabama even more after that because they passed this law. You see what I'm saying? This is how they work. So when you have people who go against the grain on what is the rest of the world saying, and they start doing something else, then you're the bad person. No, I'm just a little bit closer to heaven. I store my treasures there. At the end of the day, you call me what you wish to call me down here. I don't hate nobody, but I love God a whole lot. And I'm giving him my confirmed, firm yes, and I trust him with my life. I don't trust these people with my life. I don't. If y'all wasn't out here talking about all this sex education and stuff like that, listen. Okay? Child. Yes. Listen. Mm. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. It's really, really, really sad. It's really sad. And we are blind. Like, come on. They started talking about all this sex education, right? So I remember my daughter was about maybe 14 years old. And she had sex ed. And she had to do a report on a sexually transmitted disease. Oh no, not in this house. You gonna read? I'm gonna take you to Google. Let's go to Google. You gotta do a report. Do you know what you're gonna do it on? Okay, well here, let me help you. What's the name of that one? Gonorrhea. Okay, let me show you what it looked like. You got it now? You see what it looked like? This is what it looked like when you catch it. Herpes and warts. Oh, okay, let me show you what it looked like. They want to teach you something. They not teaching you right. So I'm gonna teach you how. They might have taught you the book, but I'm gonna show you what it looked like. Turn your whole mouth upside down. I bet you when you see stuff seeping and weeping and oozing and snoozing, you will change your mind about having sex. And she did. She surely did all the way up until she was about 20. If you're gonna do it right. They not showing you no pictures in school. They telling you let me give you a description of what it looks. No, description ain't gonna be enough. I'm gonna need you to y'all like pictures and photos and selfies and stuff. Here, let me show you. This is what it looks like. Because there were some children that was her age that was already out here having sex. So I'm not gonna let somebody else teach you something. I'm going to, and then from there, after you done threw up and your stomach a little jacked up about it, okay, now you can go ahead and write your report. What did you choose? I was that mom. I'm that mom. You gonna keep on talking about I'm hungry. I'm hungry. We just left the house. Now all of a sudden you hungry. You wasn't hungry until we got in this car and rode past the McDonald's. Now I'm gonna take you past 50 McDonald's until we decide that we're gonna go back home and eat a sandwich. I might get you a Happy Meal, something like that. But yeah, no, we listen. At the end of it, and I've boycotted McDonald's since then. After I read what I read, it just really aggravated my spirit. I'm sick of y'all, because we got to pray for the food. We got to pray for the people cooking it. We got to pray for the cows or what. It's just a lot going on out here in these streets, y'all. We got to pray for these people. We want to keep, God, he said, he already said he don't hate the sinner, he hates the sin. We got to start looking at things through the eyes of God. Listen, let me tell you something. I know a God who will tear you down and build you up after he do it. Satan ain't doing that. He tear you down so that you can stay down. Get down or lay down. He's gonna take you right to hell with him. Like, come on, we out. No, no, no. We not. We is not. We is not. I'm not going with you. And I'm trying to help as many people as I can so that they don't go with you either. Do y'all feel what I'm talking about? Yes, listen. He, it's a sad shame that that man did what he did. It's sad that shows like the Cosby Show, you think back and you're like, Dad, come to find out that all the stuff that you was doing, was you doing it to them babies too? You see what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, there was some positive messages that came through, from the Cosby Show. It showed you about family and togetherness and, sitting down and talking to your children and things like that. Same thing with Roseanne. Yeah, they had a different way of how they did things. But ultimately, you seen love for their children. You seen love for one another. You seen love for family. We've lost leadership. We've lost love. We're losing children. The elders is the ones that was elders is gone. There's only few of them left. And then you got the women who think that they the men in the structure, and that's not the case. Go up there, sir. You in the way with the womp 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 womp. What is that? It ain't funny, you little goofball. Good, 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 good. Like, man, we just got to get to a place where, if ain't nobody else gonna do it, then let it be you. Get us a team of people. Let's get, because we have children that's even watching what we doing out here on YouTube. They're watching what's going, like they'll go and watch stuff that like children that mobs that the I don't know what they call them, flash mobs, is that what they call, where they be going to different places and some of them will ride bikes and all that and four wheelers and whatnot, and then you got the other ones who's beating up the old people and the homeless, and like, if you seen your child on the committing a crime, what are you gonna do? What would y'all? Let me ask y'all that. What would y'all do if you saw your child committing a crime on the social media? What would y'all do? I'm interested to see. How would you handle it? What would you do if you saw on social media your child committing a crime? On, yeah, like let's say that you somebody somebody who's on their on like friends with them or something, or that they got a secret account or something like that, where you came across them committing a crime or doing something that they have to you know that they may be arrested or have to go and they don't the people's out, they don't know who did it. If you can identify this person and you identify that as being your child. Soldier Denise, that listen, you do the time, you do the crime. Because how else are they gonna learn? How that might scare them straight. You see what I'm saying? That might be, but we have some parents who will cover that stuff up. Keep it hush hush. See? And that's exactly. Again, like I said, there's some people who will keep that type of stuff hush hush and not even address it, not even handle those things. You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, yes, you're supposed to have your child's back. I put something on your commissary. Go ahead. I put something right on your commissary. You will have you some oodles and noodles, boo. You will have you some oodles and noodles, boo. You hear me? You said you need cheese curls for your cheese. No problem. I will get you some cheese curls, some oodles and noodles. You might even get you can have your tablet while you in the who scout, the lockup. And Cheetos, yes. And the Cheetos. That's what I'm talking about. They need the Cheetos too. Give you the crunchy, cheesy you flavor. You get all you need, baby. You need what else? You need when's your visitation? I'll come and see you on Sunday. Bring the Bible with me too, because you might need a little Jesus when I get there. At the end of the day, you got exactly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. Don't you want your child to remember you for the fact that when you was out here cutting up, that they wanted to see you live? So when you go out here and you do something opposing how I raised you, because you weren't raised like that. You want to be a opposite how you got raised. Got me out here looking like I don't care about what you're doing in these streets. See, before we came from the elders before, if you got caught by your neighbor down the street doing something you ain't have no business doing, how did the elders handle y'all? Child, you'd be lucky if you still got skin on your behind when you get home, and to get another one. Okay, you got handled. That's what I'm talking about. That don't nowadays we already talked about this before. Y'all we can't even say nothing to nobody's child. Who you think you girl? I'm just somebody who cares. And I'm sure that you didn't raise your child like that. But now that I see better, I might have made a mistake. I might have misjudged. Okay? It's like, how do y'all know everybody's number? Do y'all have a phone list around here with everybody's number? How is it that you knew before you even got home from dad had a whistle that he would put his two fingers in his mouth and whistle. You could hear him from one side of a large park to the other side of the park. If he came home and he put out that whistle on us and the street light hadn't come on yet, oh, 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 somebody is getting down. I remember my brother ran away one time because a boy I had just got my new glasses. And I told y'all I was eyes cocked like a pistol. Lord Jesus, thank you, Father, for helping them. I had just got my new glasses, and the boy on the bus hit me in the face with a book bag and broke my glasses. Oh, my brother fired him up. You hear me? And ran away. Guy ran away. He was scared he was going to get beat. He didn't get no beating. He was doing what he was supposed to do, protecting his sister. But man, guy ran away. He beat the brakes off of him. I was crying. My brother done beat him up and ran away. Fix it, Jesus. They don't even have that now. They don't have that. It's few. Like, come, we not, listen, we got to get it together. That's all I know. And like I said, it's not everybody, but what can we do? You know, again, Malika and I, we've been talking about Save the Children. What can we do as elders, as women, as leaders in our homes? What can we do to be different? What can we do to, besides prayer and intercession, of course, that got to be foremost in the house. But how many people is actually, the old saying that say, a family that prays together stays together? They ain't even saying grace, let alone praying. Do you see what I'm talking about? Like that's one of the main things that we have lost in this place is really God. Everybody talking about how they took the Bible out of schools. Did they take it out your house too? It ain't funny, but I'm just saying. Did they take the Bible out your house too? Did you have one? Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll be back. Thank y'all for y'all patience. I love y'all. I said I'll be back. Teresa said hello. I can I said I will be right back. Y'all my poor baby. Look at I said, "Hold, guys, I'll be right back." Child, Ooh, that's a shame. But yeah, I listen. The man's outside cutting down my bushes. I'm like, what is you doing down here? You can't let them listen. But thank you. That means I don't have to do it this summer because it's a Burberry bush and that thing got a million thorns on it. So I don't have to get pricked up this year. I guess he feel bad because I ran into the daggone air conditioner and gashed my daggone shin fooling with him. I was like, when you gonna move this thing? It's down here and almost killed me twice. I said, you just don't want no, drink that. I said, you just don't want me to wear no dresses this summer so I could show off my legs. Now my legs look like I done had a meeting with Freddie. But yeah, so Denise, the Second Chronicles, we chapters 22, 23, and 24 is what I read today. But I'm gonna get ready to get up off of here and go out here and monitor the situation out here for I don't have no nothing out here fooling with him. He done got the shovel and everything, child. Jesus. mm, 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 mm. But I appreciate y'all as always. Thank y'all for y'all. I might come back on a little bit later and chit chat. Um, see what we got going on here. But I love y'all with the love of the Lord. Thank y'all for coming by and spending some time with me. And I'll talk to y'all soon. See you later.